So hi there again. Today I'm going to show you in a few probably two videos, so one after this, about how I printed this space pod out in a large scale. Yeah, so I'm going to do it as I get my measuring tape. I'm going to do it at 25 centimeters high. Yeah, so I haven't printed it yet. This is why I'm going to take you through the stage as I do it. So anyway, I made this 3D pod, I think it was about last May in Iceland, and it's part of the 3Z universe. If you look in one of my previous blog posts, it does have this module, but it's very small. It's about 4 centimeters high. And now I want to make it bigger, so I want to make it 25 or 30 at least. And for those of you that don't really know 3D printing, it's not as simple as just getting the whole thing and then taking it into the setup file. So I'm going to go to Cura, which is used for layer printers, PLA printers and ABS, such as the Ultimaker machines. Yeah, I've used this a lot with Ultimaker. The machine I have at home is like a cheap, it's called Wanhao Duplicator i3, so it also uses a version of Cura that they've made. They've converted it. I think Cura is open source. Anyway, here's the whole model completely in the Wanhao Cura version. And as you can see, the scale, the Z scale, sorry, the scale here, the Z scale is 1.77 millimeters. It's only 17 centimeters high, and I want it at least 25. So how am I going to do that? And also, if you look at the time it's going to take to print as well, the whole thing, it's kind of bad. And also, if you have a print set up for that long, if something goes wrong, so if you've started doing printing or you do 3D printing, if something messes up here, you've wasted, if something messes up here, you've kind of wasted 16 hours on a print. There are ways to get it restarting if it has messed up, but I find it's best to split it into components. Yep, and there's obviously no way to get the height more than that. So in the 3D package that I'm using, 3ds Max, you can do exactly the same in things like Blender and Maya and Modo. What I've done, I've taken it into segments. Look, it's like components, like in a model kit. I mean, perhaps some of you, when you were younger, you had things like Airfix model kits or Tamiya model kits, and they were broken down into segments, and so the idea is to print them out in segments and then glue them on. Another thing with this is that you can hollow it out, yeah, like so. This here, yeah. So if you go back to this one, it's not hollowed out. If we go to the layers, which is here, and we take the layers down, we can see this area is not, that area is not hollowed out. Yeah. All right. It's hollowed out below that, but then it's making a massive support. You can see this blue area here. It's a massive support, and also you can see the supports here. And for those of you that don't know, supports are used so because the printer can't print in not fresh air in mid-air. So when it comes up here, it needs a support. Yeah. So I've got another version of Cura opened, and I'm going to load a model file. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to just undo that. I'm going to export one of these components. So let's choose this. This is a nice light component, so it's the middle rocket thruster thing. And remember, all the components will be printed out and then they can be glued with super glue, and then I'm going to paint it. So I'm just going to export, and I export selected or whatever you do in your 3D package. Then I go to components, and then I'll call this something like thruster. Yeah, I'm not very good at naming things in 3D. Sometimes I just go or something like that. So there we go. There's thruster. I'll save that as and just export it. Okay, done. and then I go to the Cura program or whatever program you're setting up in, and then I load model file, and then I'm going to go to big pod components, and there we go, there's the thruster. So I click on that and open it, and it should open. Okay, there you go. And at the moment, importing it in at the scale that it imports, it's going to take 2 hours and 26 minutes. So let's have a look at the scale of that. So the scale of that is 33 millimeters, and so the y-axis must be the long one, which is 55. So what we're going to do is rotate it. So we rotate it 90 degrees. So there you go, that's standing up. That's a good way to make a really nice 3D print, yeah? Because if it's tilted, then you're going to have problems with it printing in midair, and then it will have to make supports. So you've got the blue supports going on here to support the structure. I would have thought that it would have supports here as well, but anyway. And if you do it this way, where is it? If you do it this way, if you make it flat on the ground, then you go to layers, and you have absolutely no supports going on. Just check what's happening inside. Okay, there is some supports, yeah, because this is a bit hollow here. So there's the blue supports here. That's the fill density. Yeah, it's not that. I've put it at 10% here. You should really have it 20. I try to minimize it all the time. And then there, so there's really no supports going on, and I'm pretty sure that would make it, that print will work. Yeah, and you can either choose raft or brim. I'm finding on Wanhao that brim isn't working very well on my machine, and raft is some geeky kind of forum person was going on about how, you know, if you use a raft, you're an amateur or something. I really just couldn't be bothered even talking to that person. But anyway, whatever works, whatever makes what you want to in the quickest time. That's what I'm all about. I'm not all about, you know, getting really into technical details of how something works and getting off on it. I want to make the things, yeah. As long as they make the things well, then that's fine. So let's go to scale. 33, 58, 584. Okay, so the 51, that's the height. So that's, yeah, that's only 5 centimeters high. Yeah, so if you think about it, you should really measure this probably, but if you think about it, that's over a third of the height. Yeah, so that's only going to make 15 centimeters. Yeah, see what I mean? So this is going to be 5 centimeters. So times that by 3 is 15 centimeters roughly of the height. And I want to make something that's going to be about 25 centimeters. Yeah. So let's say, for example, it's going to be about 9. Now I'm using a ruler here as well because that really helps. So we're going to take the Y up to 90. See how it goes. It's rendering nicely, showing us all the layers again. This takes a slow while because I want to finish this video off because I don't want you to watch this forever. And as you see, it will give you the times here. So I have to stop moving my mouse because someone complained about my mouse was going all over the screen. Okay, so that's going to be 17 hours. Okay, so that's quite a long time. That's actually similar to this print, yeah. And it's at 0.15 layer height. What you can do is probably you can try and do a rougher print, so you can take it up to 0.2, yeah, and then it takes it down, you know, the print size down. But remember that this rocket is going to be much bigger than this one. So although this one's taking 17 hours, it could mess up, yeah. This print is taking 17 hours, but it's probably not going to mess up, and it doesn't, because it doesn't really have any supports. Make sure your heat bed is level on whatever printer you're using. If you have an automatic leveler, that's really good. Good for you. So yeah, that's taking it down to 13, so that's a bit more manageable. And one thing you have to remember is that when you're making a print, the longest bit, so that's one component. I want to make these legs one component. When you start splitting up components into really ridiculously small sizes, the whole structure gets weak, because it really only, I'm going to sort of attach it with super glue. So this is going to be the longest component. So you want to think about how the longest length of that, how that's going to fit onto the heat bed, whatever size you've got. Okay, so that's it basically. So I look forward to getting this printed. It'll probably start printing in the next week or so, and then I'll do another video about how it's been printing, how the components are coming along, and then finally I'm going to paint it, because it's kind of getting stressful now, because I'm doing one of these for the Maker Fair to promote my 3Z Imaginary City work, and also I'm doing a Imaginary City workshop there in Edinburgh on the 16th of April, and although it's 26, that's not actually that long away, so never underestimate your deadlines as well. So it always takes a lot longer, be 3D graphics or 3D printing or drawing, whatever. So thanks very much, and I'll speak to you soon. Have a good week. Bye.